Hi guys, a fragrance review for you. My first ever fragrance review, and this one is for Antonio Puig's QUORUM. Puig. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but I just say Puig. Um, yeah, this one is for QUORUM, and if many of you guys out there have never heard of QUORUM, then well, I wouldn't be surprised because today it's not well known. Yet when it was, like when it launched, it was very well known. But let's get on a little bit about the fragrance. Now, this fragrance was released back in 1982. So, yeah, very old fragrance, very vintage. You can tell with the way it looks that's definitely come from that time. In fact, this is what the bottle looks like. The presentation is right here. We've got QUORUM there, Eau de Toilette, and then we've got on the bottom there, we've got how big the bottle is, the alcohol dosage, 85% volume. On the bottom we've got, I don't know if you can really see that, but it actually says Antonio Puig. And it's something else in Spanish, I don't know. But yeah, like, it just looks so vintage, doesn't it? I mean, come on. You cannot get as more vintage as this. And it looks a bit weird in my like fragrance display because it looks so like old compared to the rest. But you know, I really like this fragrance. I honestly do. I've known about this fragrance for a really long time. I've never actually thought about actually owning it, you know? And I saw one review of a guy doing this version, because there's not actually many reviewers doing reviews on the original. There was a flanker for this fragrance that was released called QUORUM Silver, and I've never actually smelled that, but there's a lot of reviews on that. There's only one review on this. And I really admired his review. You know, he spoke a lot of sense about the fragrance. And so yeah, when he reviewed this, he said that he thought it was very unique. And to be honest, I have to agree. It is very unique, very different, very honestly is very different from any other fragrance you're ever going to smell. Because these days there are a lot of fragrances that kind of smell the same. You know, there's a lot of fragrances that have copied off 1 million, I believe. But with old fragrances, you know, you find that they have their own original smell, and they stick by that smell. You know, there's no other fragrances that would copy, because in the 80s, a lot of fragrances were run around having spice and oriental scents rather than just fresh. There were fresh fragrances from the 80s, but they all worked around having spice and stuff like that instead, you know? So yeah, I'm going to get on a little bit more about the fragrance now, about the smell. Now, when I got this fragrance, it was a blind buy. I had no idea what it smelled like. I watched reviews on it, and I tried my best to understand what they were saying about the smell. Could never imagine it. And then when I bought this, I bought it from Debenhams for $15.99, which to me it's not exactly a good price for this, even though you get what you pay for at the end of the day, because you can get it a lot cheaper than that, like I said. But I was really, I'm going to be honest, when I first got it, I was very disappointed with the way it smelled. But it didn't stop me, because I had a look around the store, I sprayed it on my hand, and then I came back around. I must have been looking in this store for like 20 minutes or something. Came back and I smelled it. And the tester bottle must have been really old, because it dried down on my hand really quickly after 25 minutes or so. And then the smell was really, really nice, and I honestly really admired it. So I thought, right, I'm going to get myself a bottle. So I bought it, and I haven't looked back. You know, I have not looked back. It's so unique, very different, so masculine. It's just a really, really great fragrance. And it's become a personal favourite of mine, even though I would never even think about calling it a favourite of mine. But it's honestly so good. Now, if you want to know what's in the actual juice, let's get onto the notes. Now, in the top, it's very fruity. You've got your bergamot, you've got grapefruit, and you've even got mandarin as well. Even though when you first spray it, you don't smell any of that. All you smell throughout the whole fragrance is this suede, this really kind of dirty suede smell. But it's not a bad smell, even though it is dirty. It's kind of like an unclean. It's like a leather jacket that hasn't been washed for years, and you get that kind of damp, foisty smell. This is exactly what this smells like, honest to God. But like, that's not exactly a bad smell though, is it, if you think about it? It's not good, but it's not bad either. And that's exactly what it smells like, I'm not kidding. It smells exactly the same. So yeah, then once that kind of goes, you can really start to smell a really strong transition. Once you come out of the fruit, you come into the mid, where you start getting a lot of suede and leathery smells. And then that lasts for about 3 hours, and then once you get into the 4th hour of wearing this fragrance, you start to smell a strong smell of tobacco and sage. So there are a lot of strong ingredients. You know, you've got the leather, and then the tobacco is honestly so strong in this fragrance. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about the smell. All I know is it smells very manly. You know, it's a true gentleman's smell as well. I remember a family member of mine wearing this when I was younger, and and the smell just brings me back strongly of what that used to smell like. I believe it was my granddad who used to wear this stuff, and he honestly used to swear by it. And to be honest, I think I'm following in his footsteps, by collecting this actual cologne and wearing it. So yeah. But now that we've talked about how it smells, I want to basically talk to you about what the longevity is like. Now, I get a staggering 8 to 10 hours out of this. I'm not joking. For the price that I paid for this, I was expecting to get 4 or 5 hours. I wore it I think I wore it at like 10 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I could smell it till 7 o'clock at night, and that's brilliant. I've even got about 12 hours out of this. I sometimes when I come out of the shower, I spray some on, and I can smell it on my neck when I first get out of bed. And that's I love fragrances that last a long time, if I'm honest, because it means that they're made with fine ingredients. But with this one, it's not like QUORUM is discontinued or anything. It's not like, they're not going to use fine ingredients as what they would have used all those years ago, I'm sure it's the same stuff, Same alcohol dosage, same ingredients, no difference to the bottle. Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention, the only thing about the bottle which kind of makes me a bit disappointed is obviously the top is a bit cheap. Even though the sprayer is very good, it's a bit cheap, I mean, I got what I paid for. I wasn't expecting anything too flash, but yeah, they could have put something maybe over the top to cover it up, I don't know. And also the actual lid as well. The gold on the side flips up, and it's a bit awkward, because there's been times when I picked the fragrance up and I went like that by mistake. It's not really there. Like, even if they weren't on, it wouldn't make any difference to the fragrance. They're just there for show, so I'm not really complaining that much, but they're the only faults I've got. Right, now let's get on to something completely different. The best time to wear QUORUM? Well, honestly, right, this is my opinion, right? The best time to wear it is when you're doing nothing and you're just sitting about, being lazy, watching TV, playing on your Xbox or PlayStation 3, whatever. That is the best time to wear it. I would never wear it if I'm going out. I would wear it if I'm maybe going to walking down the street or something like that. Or maybe going to a corner shop and buying a bottle of Coke or something like that. I would stick it on just, for the sake of it. But I would never ever wear it for any occasions, any daytime reasons, anything. I would never wear it for anything like that, because it's so dated, so strong, and it's not the exact type. It's not the type of fragrance that should be worn, really, I think, personally, in this century, because it is out of fashion. I've only got it because it's a classic, and it's more of a collector's item to me, personally. I would still wear it. I'm still hoping to use it all up. Maybe, I don't know, I would actually end up keeping the bottle as well, because I don't know, it's a really old fragrance, so you never know if they're going to sell it again in a few years' time, so you never know. So yeah, guys, that is my review on QUORUM by Antonio Puig. And if you guys have any questions at all about this fragrance, or if you guys have any questions about wanting me to do any reviews on any other fragrances in the upcoming days, please just message me below the video and hit like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye.